Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. In today's video, I'm going to compare the Altra Vanish Carbon to the Nike Alphafly. First, I'm going to go through a little bit of criteria, then I'm going to run in them and review them, and finally, I'm going to decide which one I would pick to run a marathon in. I'm making this video because I wanted to compare the two shoes. I've reviewed both separately and I'll put links at the end and down in the description so you could click onto those videos. But I want to do a quick comparison between them to see which is the fastest shoe that I would choose for running a marathon. And to do that, I'm analysing them by doing my Gutbuster 1 kilometer time trials in the park. First, some specifications. The Altra Vanish Carbon weighs 279 grams or 9.85 ounces. The Nike Alphafly weighs 271 grams or 9.55 ounces. So not much in the difference there. The big difference is in the stack height. The Altra Vanish Carbon has a 33 millimeter stack height and the Nike Alphafly is higher at 39 millimeters. And of course the drop in the Altra is 0 millimeters and it's 4 millimeters in the Alphafly. The shoes are both US 13, UK 12, the EU 48 for the Altra and 47.5 for the Nike. They change slightly for some apparent reason, but essentially they're the same size. Traction and grip on the shoes is pretty much okay. The stack height of the Nike being higher is, I find, less easy to go around tight bends in. But in terms of, there's a lot going on in the sole of the Alphafly, less so in the Venture Carbon. But traction and grip would be okay. I wouldn't run in either of these shoes in the wet. The sound of the Alphafly, it goes plop, plop, plop. I find it grating after a while because there's so much going on down in the sole. The running feel of them, I really like the feel of the Alphafly. It very much reminds me of my Hoka Carbon X, the first version. And I prefer the running feel in it. I tend to sag down into the Alphaflies, fast and all as they are. And in terms of durability, they both look about the same. They're thinly constructed to go faster. The Altra comes in at €250, $240 or £220, and the Nike Alphafly at €299.99, $275, $259.95 sterling, and 280 Australian dollars. But it's often on discount. I got mine on discount. So they're at the higher end of shoes. I mean, at €300 or thereabouts, Nike would be the most expensive shoe I have. But it's discounted down, and at $250, they're both expensive, but comparable carbon fiber shoes. I went out and tried to do some performance testing in the shoes. I did my Gutbusters in the local park, a 1 kilometer time trial, essentially going as fast as I can in each of the two shoes. I tried to do it on consecutive days to get pretty similar weather and humidity, etc. And also I try to do it, well, they're always in the dry. I don't go in the wet. And I also try and do it on back to back because my actual condition is going to be pretty much the same. And so that's what I do. First shoe, I went out in the Alphafly on Saturday morning, and then I went in the Vanish Carbon. And then on the Sunday, I reversed the order because it could be that you're more tired on the second run. So I did that. I recently got COVID-19 and I noticed on the data that my runs are slower than the fastest run I'd previously done. So the fastest run I had done in the Alphafly was 3 minutes and 48 seconds on this loop thing. I've done a kilometer in 3:40 on a straight line, but anyway, 3:48 was in 10 runs. That was the quickest one I'd done, and they didn't vary that much. But the slowest one of these went down to 4 minutes 11, and I'll show the data now in a second. But what I found was that it was really a lot harder than I thought to run timed performance kilometers in these so soon after COVID. I can run normally is fine, but trying to do these, I could really feel it, and I can certainly see it in the results of how quick they went. The other odd thing is I ran wearing and timing it with a Garmin Forerunner 55. And that's the watch I regularly use within these time trials. And I noticed on the Saturday runs, the 1 kilometer beep point came slightly further than I expected on both runs. And on Sunday, it was where I expected on both runs, which may account slightly for the Saturday runs seeming to take a little bit longer than the Sunday runs. But at least it was consistent between both pairs of shoes, so I can make a valid comparison. So how did I get on? Well, Sunday was faster than Saturday. I sort of explained maybe that's the GPS. but it was consistent in both. I went out in the Alphafly first on the Saturday, and then in the Vanish Carbon, I went out in that first on the Sunday. And the Vanish Carbon and the Alphafly times, I'll put them up here. But on with the Vanish Carbon, I went out at 4:11 on the Saturday and 4 minutes and 5 seconds on the Sunday. And the Alphafly, 4 minutes 12 on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, 4 minutes 5. So almost identical times. That was all I could get out of them with the COVID and the performance, but they were essentially, the performance was the same. When I drilled down into data though, it was slightly different how I went about it. So my cadence in the Vanish Carbon was 181 steps per minute, and my stride was 1.35 meters average. And then in the Alphafly, my steps per minute cadence was 184 steps per minute, and my stride was 1.33 meters on average. So I was really surprised that the longer stride length came in the Vanish Carbon. So what can I conclude after all that? Well, I ran almost identical times in both shoes, but if I was to pick one to run a marathon in, it would be the Vanish Carbon. And the reason is relatively straightforward. The longer stride length, I love the ride in it. I find it a much more enjoyable shoe to actually run in, and I tend to find I sag down into the Alphafly, and then there is the noise of it. And for me, with short legs, anything that increases my stride length is going to get my vote. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff down in the description below, and I'll happily answer any of the questions that you put into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some related videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.